Hey everybody, it's Dr. V. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to do a no communication reading. So this is, oh, that was interesting. For those of you who are in no communication with your counterpart, maybe you haven't heard from them for a while and you're just wondering what the heck is going on in their world, why they haven't reached out to you, what is the deal? What's the dealio? So I have been feeling led to do this reading all day long. I've been extremely busy and so I haven't been able to get to it. So here we go. Spirit, please use me as a clear channel for communication. May the messages that come through be in the highest good of all those concerned. I draw a sacred circle around this space, setting my ego to the outside. So the only messages that come through are those in the highest good of all those concerned. If you'd like to get a private reading with me, all the information on how to do that is in the description box. And if you do book a private reading, please be sure that you read the directions and the instructions on how to schedule and what to expect. Alrighty, let's go ahead. So I want to start with what their overall energy is. Just what is the overall energy for the person that we're listening for, Spirit? Overall energy. I'm starting off with the Spellcaster Tarot. And let's see, what's their overall energy at the moment? So we've got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, the King of Pentacles, and the Nine of Cups. Interesting. So the Ace of Pentacles is, a new beginning that maybe didn't take off, wasn't what they expected. Maybe they started something, tried for something, and it just didn't happen the way that they wanted it to, didn't happen the way that they thought it was, or that they envisioned it. And so it's like this new beginning that has gone nowhere. Something isn't paying off, That right now they're really concerned about material things. This Pentacles energy, is King of Pentacles, is somebody who's really concerned about their financial position, position in society, position in the world. Maybe concerned about creating stability or continuing to build stability in their life, in their resources. But they're definitely in this space of being very much more concerned with their material world than they are with matters of the heart. However, the Nine of Cups shows up, which shows that there is some attention being paid to the emotional and heart realms, but it feels like they're trying to get distance. Okay, it feels like they're kind of keeping things at a distance, at a safe distance, being a little bit removed, having things, not playing their cards close to their chest, but really trying to keep things at a safe distance. These two cards together to me suggest somebody who's really feeling like they need to be more practical, more logical than they are emotional. So they may feel this sense of pull towards you or pull toward this connection, but they're also feeling like, well, I need to be practical, I need to be logical. This could be somebody that, if for instance your counterpart has children with a karmic partner or a soulmate, they may be just getting this emotional distance because they feel like, well, I have to be practical, I have to think about other things, I have to think about the reality of the situation, not just what my heart wants. And so it definitely feels like they're have pulled back or have tried to remain objective about the situation. So what is the overall reason for their lack of communication? Actually, I'm going to do this a little bit differently because I want to get a variety of decks. So we've got the High Priestess. Then I'm going to use the Oracle of the Mermaids by Lucy Cavendish and the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. So I want to get a more comprehensive picture. So we have the High Priestess, beauty, and perception. So overall, the reason for their lack of communication is this. The High Priestess is somebody who listens to their intuition, who trusts their spirituality. This is an energy of someone who I feel like is pretty disconnected from that right now. This is a person who may not be very clear even in their own spiritual beliefs. They may be somebody that if you ask them about things like what do they believe about spirituality, they might have some ideas, but it's not real solidified, it's not real clear. And I'm not saying that there has to be like a certain answer, because there's a lot of because if we go into like certainty that it has to be this particular way, then we're going into dogma. But what I'm saying is that someone who isn't clear, even being unclear or being clear about your uncertainty is clear. I hope that makes sense. So for example, I was talking with a friend and they asked me what my thoughts were about the afterlife. And I said, well, I'm really clear that I don't believe in the traditional notions of heaven and hell. The jury is still out for me, as I mostly believe in reincarnation and past lives, but I'm not 110% committed to that idea. I'm open to the mystery and the possibilities. So in that saying, in my saying that, I'm saying I'm clear about certain things, and there's certain things that are still a mystery that I'm still exploring. Even that is more clear than someone who is just like, not certain about anything. And that's what that feels like to me. This card feels like someone who's just really not trusting in what they know. Don't even maybe tap into what they know. Maybe really tuned out from their own intuition. This might be somebody who stays extremely busy, a workaholic, somebody who's always on social media, somebody who's always like consumed with other activities, so they don't have time to really go within and think. So then we have beauty, grace, loveliness, integrity of form and spirit. I honestly feel like this was part of the reason why this no communication is happening, is that they may not have behaved with integrity. They may not have behaved with in ways that were whole, and they may have seen you behaving in ways that were whole. They may have seen your spirituality and your honesty and your integrity and strength of character as something that's very appealing. But also, when you are like, the more that your light is shining, the more that it reflects on somebody else's darkness. And so it's not, that they might not have felt like they could stay in the presence of such beauty because they felt unworthy. They felt like that like they couldn't be good enough because of the things that they'd done in the past, that maybe they treated you in different ways, and that they didn't have that integrity of form and spirit. They may have been dishonest, or may have been disingenuous, or whatever that was. And again, this is not criticism, it's just acknowledgement that sometimes people are on different levels of their path. But I feel like that your beauty and your shine really pushed them away because it was too much for them to handle where they were. And then we have perception. It says the frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it. So what I'm with this and this card right here, part of why they're not communicating right now is they don't have a clear perception. They're not seeing things clearly. They're not willing to take that look and go deeper within and see what's going on. That's why they ran from the light, because it was shining on things that they didn't want to see. And so that's part of why they went into no communication. That's just where they are. So what's the underlying cause for this no communication? Wow. So we've got the Nine of Swords, the Song of the Siren, and change. Change is a coming, right? It's like I don't know if y'all have been feeling that in the air, but I have been. I've been so clear about the change that's happening. It's pretty intense. So, Nine of Swords. Okay, look at this person. They just look despondent, right? They just look like down and out, heartbroken. This is underneath the real like root cause of what's going on and why they're not communicating is that they're still feeling a lot of grief and sorrow. This is a person that is still caught up in the aftermath of the fight. Whatever happened, it may not have been an actual fight. It may have just been disagreement. It may have been, the two of you being at odds or something. But whatever it was deeply, deeply painful for them. But this is an emotional pain that goes far back. It's not just you. What I'm getting is that this is a card for somebody who has historical wounds. This is somebody who may have past life trauma, or may have trauma from childhood, or some kind of pain from the past that they may have been able to cover over it for most of their life, and then being in contact with you really opened it up, and they're now having to deal with that. They're now having to face that. They may just be they're like in this sense of sorrow, of grief, of mourning, of being unable or unwilling to let go of the past and to move forward in a new direction. They're really just caught in this. The other thing is that this song of the siren, right? So this song, if you think about the siren, like the mythology of a siren, they would sing, and they were so beautiful that they would lure the sailors off course, and then they would crash and into the rocks and die. And so when we speak, according to mythology, the siren was actually a very dangerous energy, right? You could lose everything. You could lose your life if you gave to the call of the siren. And this actually is how they feel. It's not realistic. It's not like you're truly dangerous. It feels like when someone is illuminating your darkness, when someone is opening up these deep wounds and helping you to heal, even though it's necessary, it's scary. And I feel like this song of the siren, like they feel like the call that they feel toward you, the pull that they feel coming to your direction is scary. It feels dangerous to them because it will upend everything. And they know that. It will upend everything because what they have built, the foundation that they built, remember we got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, the foundation that they built upon it's not a solid foundation. It's not real. It's a house built on quicksand. It can't stand. And if they listen to this call from you, it's going to cause all of that to fall apart. They're just not ready for it. So we have change. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of the old and the birth of the new. They're just not ready for it. They're resisting the change, which is unfortunate for them because, when you resist change, what happens is that the divine will assist. So how would they feel if they were to communicate? So let's say you were to cross paths or you were to actually communicate. How would that feel for them? So we have the Five of Swords, a lot of thoughts here, a lot of mental energy, a lot of interesting. Oh, you see the swords are thoughts, right? They're like mental space. And so they're really in their head about this. And this about you, about this connection. So how they would feel is they would almost feel like it would continue to stir up conflict, or it would stir up strife. I mentioned this in the earlier reading that when you're not around, they can keep things at like a status quo. But when you step back into their life, when you're in their energy field, what ends up happening is that they get this, it's like it muddies the water. It's like you step into their life and you step in the pond of their existence, and it brings up all the dirt underneath, all the muck and all the mire. And so they would feel that coming back up. They would feel all of the stuff that they're managing to stuff down in their everyday existence that they don't have to deal with, that they're not listening to, the perception, the intuition that they're ignoring. It comes back up to the surface. It could cause, they feel like it could cause them to go into this space of, really negative spiral again. It can make them feel very insecure, which is ironic because you love them. If you're a true twin flame connection, it's like you love them more than anybody else in the entire world. You are the least likely person that's going to hurt them, but they don't know that. The thing of it is that if you don't understand love, if you don't really truly understand the nature of love, you can believe things that are toxic or love and mistake real love for something else. People who have intimacy blocks, for instance, will go after unavailable partners and reject the people who are actually open to opening their heart and giving them, of themselves because they're afraid. Okay, and so it's like, that's kind of how they feel. And then we have the receptivity. It's like for them to open themselves to receive and to let themselves receive love, unconditional love, is foreign. Everything to this person, the energy that I'm picking up right now, is an exchange. It's a quid pro quo. I don't know if you remember that from Silence of the Lambs, quid pro quo, Agent Starling. But it is, give to me and I'll give to you. They don't understand the nature of unconditional love. And I'm not talking about codependence. I'm not talking about any of that. But for them, love is it's a bargaining tool. It's something that they negotiate with. They have to give something to get something, which is not an unhealthy perspective necessarily, because you don't want to be you don't want your connections to be out of balance, but it's different to give willingly and freely and to receive willingly and freely and to negotiate. I hope that makes sense, because it's making sense in my mind, but I'm not sure if it's coming out quite the way that I want it to. It's unconditional love is given without expectation. And they're not accustomed to that. They're not accustomed to being able to receive without negotiating something. It's like they have to give something of themselves or give up something important in order to receive what they want. They don't know what it's like to just receive freely without strings attached. That's what it is. They don't know how to receive without strings attached, and that's something that's difficult for them. So it would bring up those feelings of receptivity if they were to communicate with you, of their own inability to receive. But they would also feel this compassion. It says the frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that our unconditional love can flow from source, through source, through our heart and into the world. So that's literally what this is. It's about receiving unconditional love. It's like how they would feel that. They'd feel the receptivity of this unconditional love, and it's not something that they're ready to handle yet. I get that. It's just not something that they may not even believe in it at this point. So what's holding them back? A mental prison. Shocking. Fertility and authority. Respect my authority. You guys, I'm so mature. Sometimes I just can't handle it myself. So 8 of Swords in reverse. The 8 of Swords in reverse is the mental prison. Again, you guys look, all of these cards are swords. This is a person who's super, super caught in their head right now. They might be like an intellectual that tries to make everything like fit into a nice little intellectual box, but this is literally like they're missing out on the experience because they're shut off from their heart. This 8 of Swords is like what's holding them back right now is they're not quite ready. They're working on it, on getting their freedom. It's like they're really still hoping for independence. I don't get that they're necessarily taking a lot of action right now. It feels like they're ready to. They're like kind of getting to that space of things coming closer to an end, but it's not. It still has its hold on them. There's some kind of outside manipulative kind of energy. I don't mean like a person. I mean like this outside energy that's manipulating them. It could be beliefs from the past, expectations from others, whatever. But it's definitely this space of not being able to let go and just flow with what they want and release their inhibitions. What's also holding them back is this fertility. It's like when you look at this, it's like this potential, powerful, creative energy, initiation energy. It's that there's still some things that need to come to pass. The time is fertile. The time is fertile, but it's not quite right. Okay, and so there is a lot of potential, and they're starting to see the potential. They're starting to feel the potential, but there's still this, right? They're still not quite ready to take that step. They're heading there, though. Do you see this? Do you see this? How this goes from freedom, fertility, authority. It's like they're moving into that. They're stepping into those pieces that they need to, those identities and those energies for themselves. Authority, it says the frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. So this is really them coming into that fullness. What's holding them back right now is that they're not quite in that fullness of who they are. They're still not in the king energy. They're working on it. They're trying to get there. Their higher self is working overtime to get them there. They're just not quite there yet. So what would they need in order to communicate? Justice. Dreams. I love it. Romantic love. Oh, look at justice. Okay, so first of all, the karmic cycles. This is a card of like karma. There's still some karma that's resolving. There's still some things that are coming full circle. That's just what needs to happen. There's some cycles and circles that need to end. I was looking back at some of my old videos and kind of thinking back at some of the things, and I remember saying that there were a lot of people that were going to feel massive changes over the summer, and then it was going to be like the fall, there would be significant accelerations, and I feel like that is happening. I feel like a lot of people are experiencing reconnecting and communication, and being able to revisit this connection. And I feel like this is going to be an important time for more cycles to come to an end. People are going to, karmic cycles are going to burn out. Karmic situations are going to end. People are going to learn their lessons. People are going to be able to move on. That feels like really important. But justice needs to be served. There needs to be balancing of the scales. Justice is really important energy. It's really powerful. It's about, you know, keeping things in order, keeping things in balance, keeping karmic order, keeping the universe balanced. Okay, so it's really important. You know, there's this this saying that, you know, water seeks its own level, right? And that's what this card is saying to me right now, is that it's definitely trying to, the universe is trying to right any injustices and bring things into balance. The universe has a way of righting itself when it needs to, and I feel like that's what's happening right now. So this could be, I mean, again, I've said this before, but karma is only what you put out there. Okay, it's the seeds that you sow. And so whatever seeds that they have sown in the past, they're reaping right now. And that may be good if they've been sowing good seeds. It may be bad if they're sowing bad seeds. And that, all of it is just life, and it's a lesson. It's something that we have to go through. But what they need to, in order to communicate, there's two messages that are coming through. They need to believe in the beauty of their dreams. This is a person who I feel is very cynical. Maybe life has been difficult, things have been hard, things haven't worked out the way that they thought they would or that they wanted them to. And so they've adopted this kind of like, oh, poor me, woe is me, things just aren't fair kind of attitude. And that's something that needs to be, that's a wound that needs to be healed. Then the other piece is that dream communication, or if you've been feeling dream communication, if you've been feeling like you've been connecting with your counterpart in dreams, it's because you have been. It's because I was saying this the other day about astral travel, where things are happening, it literally in the higher dimensions, other dimensions, where people are communicating and feeling like really like they're physically communicating, because they are. So they're going to need some more of that. So maybe set your intentions before you go to bed to send love and light to them in their dreams, and to send, you know, good wishes and positivity, and communicate in the dream state. But they also need some more of this, like LL Cool J, you know, they need love. The frequency of romantic love supports our journey to feel whole and complete through the experience with and reflection of a romantic lover. So this, to me, I'm getting that they probably have not had this before, not in a healthy way. This is not somebody, the energy I'm picking up right now is not somebody who has had a lot of really healthy romantic connections. This is someone who maybe is engaged with a lot of codependence, a lot of you know, negative behaviors, but not a lot of romantic love, real authentic romantic love. And so that's something that they're going to really need to feel to be able to come forward again. So what is it that they feel that they're not sharing? Wow. Wow. So we've got the Four of Wands. This is like a twin flame confirmation card. And in the reverse, if they feel like this union has been broken, they feel like this union that the two of you had, it was beautiful, it was wonderful, and somehow it was broken. They feel sad, they feel anxious about it. They feel like it was like it failed, that their expectations weren't met. They were very, very disappointed by how things went. They were disappointed in themselves. They may have been disappointed in how you reacted, how you responded to things, but they definitely feel this sadness around that. And yearning. They're yearning for you. They're longing for you. That is so beautiful. I'm just like, oh, it's so beautiful. They're really yearning for you. Like they're, whether they're acknowledging it to themselves or not, they're feeling this ache for you. They're like, they really want to come back and have this connection and communicate with you. They just don't know how. They feel blocked. They feel like, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to move in that direction? You know, I have all these other practical concerns to take care of. But then they're coming with Gaia. The frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and the universe that birthed us all. So they are starting to see the bigger picture. They are starting to see that there's more than meets the eye. Oh my gosh, that's like, literally I just had the Transformers theme song just go through my head. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Wow. I think that the divine has a really unique sense of humor. So yeah, they are seeing the possibilities. So this to me is the interconnectedness of us all. I feel like they're starting to see that there's this interconnection and that nothing is missing, nothing is broken. And they're feeling some confidence. And I feel like they are feeling more connected to you in the big web of life than they have in the past. They're starting to feel that coming back. And that Gaia, the world is my, almost like this world is at my feet and I can do whatever I want, I can create whatever I want. And that feels very powerful to them. That's something that they're not sharing, okay? They're not sharing that all of these things are happening somewhere on the inside and they're just not they're not communicating that to you at this point. So I'm gonna move this aside. And I wanna use the Universal Love Oracle. I'm just going to pull 3 cards for what's going on in their mind, mental space, heart space, and physical space right now. Mental space, heaven on earth. Ooh, baby, do you know what that's worth? So heaven on earth. In their mental space, they're starting to understand that they can bring this heaven to earth, that they can, as it is in heaven, so let it be on earth. It's like, they're understanding that they are co-creating to bring whatever reality it is to pass, that nothing is happening to them without their participation and without their co-creation. They're starting to understand mentally that they have the ability to create heaven on earth by the way that they choose to approach things, the energy that they choose to bring to situations, and how they choose to live. In their heart space, embrace. They want to embrace. They want to hug. This is not just a hug. This is like a really intense, deep hug. This is like, they're going to have to open themselves up to be able to embrace it. It's like they need to open themselves to be able to receive this kind of intimacy again, or for first time. They may have felt that with you in the past and then turned away from it. But in their heart space, they're recognizing that part of this heaven on earth, what they've created, has been from their own inability to open themselves to love and to be able to receive. So their physical space, inner child. There's a lot of inner child healing right now. I feel like they're having a lot of dreams. There may be memories that are coming back from their childhood that they hadn't thought about or hadn't really considered for a while. And now suddenly it's all starting to pop back up and they're like, wow, I forgot that happened. But it's coming up so that they can heal it. Whenever inner child shows up, it shows up so that we can heal the wounding, so that we can take care of what has caused us pain in the past. It doesn't show up for any other reason other than to remind us who we were before the world told us who we were supposed to be, and to heal that. And so it feels like they're really physically right now doing a lot of inner child healing. They may even be doing things like going to the park. I mean, I remember when I was like doing my inner child healing, that was some of the stuff that I'd be like, what do you want to do today, inner child? And like inner child would be like, I want to go swing. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'd go to the park and swing, so that could literally be part of what they're doing, is learning how to listen to that inner child part and healing it. I was talking with a girlfriend earlier today, and I said something about this quote that I've seen about becoming the person becoming the person that you needed as a child. And that's part of what they're doing right now, is becoming the person that they needed as a child, that they needed to heal. And so they're going to be able to, once, when those wounds are healed, they're going to be able to move forward in their life in a more conscious manner. So I'm going to move these aside, and I'm going to use the love notes from the universe, and I'm just going to pull a message. Like, what is it that they want you to know right now? Spirit, a final message from the person for whom the listener is listening. I've got my eyes closed because there's writing on both sides, and so I'm just going to intuitively pick. Okay, the message that they want to give to you. Turn on your love light. Sometimes the best way to remain sane is to love like crazy. Works for me, the universe. This is what they're saying really, is that if you've been holding back, if you've been resisting loving, sending love messages, not physically, I'm not saying physically unless spirit is guiding you to that, but if you've been resisting sending love notes in the air, you know, I call them love bombs, where I really literally visualize like a bomber, like a, you know, military bomber, like flying overhead and dropping like love, like little bundles of love. And I do this visualization with my kids, and I work through it where you sit and you send love bombs to people. And I do that all the time. If you ever want me to send you a love bomb, let me know. In fact, I'm going to send you all love bombs tomorrow morning. That's going to be my morning meditation. So let me know if you feel it. Anyway, that's what they want you to do. Continue to send the love. Continue to send the messages of love and healing to them. They feel it. They need it. They appreciate it. And that's what unconditional love does. Unconditional love isn't saying, oh, I'll send you love when you are sending me love, or when you reciprocate it. It's saying, I'm going to love you anyway. That doesn't mean we have to be in a relationship. It doesn't mean that we're even in connection, but I'm going to love like the divine loves, which is without expectation, without condition. And that's how you know that you've really begun to master this journey. So anyway, I hope that this reading was helpful and that you're enjoying everything that you're getting on this channel. Thank you all again for your support, for all your likes, comments, subscriptions, shares, etc. And yeah, I love you all. I'll be back soon with another reading. Take care. Bye.